Also joining us on the broadcast at the moment, live from Chicago, Sudhanshu Kaushik, the Executive Director of the North American Association of Indian Students. Sudhanshu, thank you so much for making time for us. An agonizing wait as we speak for the family members who are expecting a US visa at the moment. But what steps do you think need to be taken, Sudhanshu, to ensure the safety of international students, especially those from India, who are living and studying in North America? Do you see any gaps in how campuses or communities address such incidents?
Thank you so much, Parmeshwar, for asking that question. And I don't think this is limited to just the United States. I think all around the world where Indians go to study, whether it's in the UK, Australia, Europe, especially the United States, there are substantial gaps. As NAAIS, we try to explore and fill those gaps as possible. But we do know that the mechanisms in place right now for study abroad, for the safety of students on study abroad and their well-being are not being met. And I'm not trying to blame anyone, right? There are just certain limitations when it comes to visas, when it comes to the processing of these issues. But it seems like, Parmeshwar, I am on NDTV every single month talking about something related to the death or a hate crime against an Indian student here in the United States. And I'm not saying that people are being targeted, and I'm not trying to fearmonger, but these gaps exist. And one of the biggest ones is who facilitates. I'm thankful that NDTV has taken this up. You guys are talking about it. You're putting pressure on both governments, India and the United States. You're putting the pressure on stakeholders where it's needed. But can you do this every single time? Parmeshwar, literally we send 1.2 million Indian students every single year abroad in so many countries, out of which 300,000 or 3 lakh of sorts are here in the United States. This number in the next 2 to 3 years is expected to get to 500,000 or 5 lakh students. Now, out of those 5 lakh students, they are spread across everywhere. Are we expected to take care of every single student? That can NDTV make a campaign for every single student? The answer is no. And the gaps that we need to meet is, how do the governments plus the universities talk to each other? Absolutely. Ensure that, listen, this demographic is growing. There are going to be, as expected, instances where unfortunately there will be shortcomings, whether through personnel, whether through issues, and we need to fix that. I can't understand, Parmeshwar, that this happened on February 14th. It's been 14 days since the father, the uncle, the nephew have been waiting. And
as we speak, they're still struggling to get a visa.
Absolutely. So it's not certain. I mean, I'm thankful everything is moving because of the pressure you put in, but 14 days is just not right. And so I'm thankful that at one point, Nilam is getting the care that she needs and the hospitals. As all your viewers need to know that there's no way that the hospital can deny her under the healthcare laws that exist in California and around the United States. But 14 days of not being able to go. And then it's expected that NDTV or the great Indian diaspora community or even the consulates, right, at these instances are supposed to keep up, which they're doing a great job. I'm not at all interfering in that. But again, why hasn't a cell been created within either the Ministry of External Affairs, right, that can also be able to help and facilitate these issues for students, because it's becoming such a big demographic. At the same time, the U.S. embassies, I mean, they love to tout. There's an entire economy based on this about sending students abroad. So in that, letter or the facilitation that you do or the money that you spend, you can't create 2 additional posts for emergency visas for students and their families. So when an instance like this happens, when an Indian student has paid so much money in tuition and facilitated your economy, that you can't even guarantee the right of safety, and if not even the safety, events will happen, the passage of their family members to be in this critical time period. I mean, we tout.
Very pertinent points there, Sudhanshu. And given the nature of this hit-and-run incident, where the driver fled the scene, he was caught on the 19th of February. It is crucial for local law enforcement agencies, officials on ground zero, to strengthen their efforts to protecting students and ensuring accountability. I 100% agree with you. Thanks so much for joining us on NDTV. We will, of course, revert to you for regular updates.